watching The David Robinson Show
on the CoyoteMan Show Network.
Real talk, real people, real conversation.
And good evening, and welcome to The David Robinson Show.
All right.
Real talk, real people, real conversation.
That's right.
Tonight's topic is, how can I say I love someone and turn around and leave the same person that I love? I have a special guest on my show this evening who's an entrepreneur, a producer, and is doing some exciting things in his life. But tonight, we're going to get his perspective and some perspective from some guests of mine on the CoyoteMan Show. And we're going to have some callers to call in to deal with this topic about how can you say you love someone and then turn around and leave the same person that you say you love. That's my topic for this evening. So, Mr. J.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to get your perspective.
Okay.
I know you're doing some exciting things. I know you're a part of the team over here at the CoyoteMan Show.
Yes, sir.
You're directing, and you're a manager. You're producing.
Yep.
And what is your perspective? Are you married? Are you single? What is your
Right now,
status?
yes, I'm definitely involved in a relationship right now. And based off of your topic of how can you say you love someone and, you know, turn around and go be somewhere else, as I believe is that, you know, with love it's a feeling, and an intense feeling, and with saying that you care for someone, you know, you deeply care for that person, and then when you do that, you know, you're committed to that. But when you, like I said, with love, it's that feeling, an intense feeling, and then you could just lose that feeling for a minute, and then gotta find that feeling back to get it back in order to, you know, be in that relationship or situation. So, you know, that's how, you know, off the top of the head is where I come from with the subject. But
That's good. I'm gonna ask someone I know that got a lot of wisdom and speak from a lot of different perspectives on different topics. Mr. Coyote, I'm gonna ask you, sir, you know, what is your view when you see people who turn around and say they love that person and they've been with that person, then the next thing they turn around and they have departed, or they have separated, or they have divorced, or they despise that same person that they had once said they loved?
Well, I think it starts a lot because people got a wrong understanding of the word love. It's like, I believe they confuse the actual emotion part of it, which is electric motion, which is what drives love or hate. But love is actually service and maintenance. So when we put that word into perspective, how do you stop serving somebody and maintenancing somebody that you had said you had this great emotion for? Because emotion is only a feeling and it's not substance. So the reason why you maintenance something, or you maintenance your car, is because you believe that your car has value and it's worth something. So when that love, that emotion that you have for this person, and that service that you would have provided, you see no value in servicing this person anymore or maintaining this person anymore, then that's how you can easily leave them. The same way you leave yourself when you decide that you no longer want to service yourself anymore. You don't want to clean up. You don't want to read nothing. You don't want to improve yourself because you let yourself go and you depressed. So you don't love yourself no more. You don't service yourself no more. You don't maintenance yourself no more. You have no more electric motion for your own self.
Wow.
okay.
That's deep.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna get it from a female perspective here in the studio. We're gonna go over here to Sonji. Miss Sonji, what is your point of view on that same question?
What you want, the blue pill or the red?
I want you to be real. I mean, you know, we have a lot of broken relationships in the season and lifetime that we're living in now. There's so many broken relationships, and people use that word love so freely, and they really, like Coyote was saying, some people don't really understand really what the essence of what love is. So
Okay.
I want to hear from your perspective.
Well, I heard Coyote compare it almost like a car, like somebody remind them of a Jeep or something. But what he said was definitely 100 as far as the definition of love. But I do believe that it's a thin line, a very very thin line between love and hate, and it does start with yourself and your mental and how you actually feel about yourself and others. So now, when he was saying about you no longer care for that person anymore because they're no longer of value in as far as how you feel about them, I'm I just know this. I know that I have children, right?
Mhm.
And my kids, I love them regardless of if them doing wrong or right. But there was one time my son took me very close to the edge of that line. When he was out there in the streets doing some things I didn't know he was doing, and I felt like this can't belong to me. I did not raise this. This is not a part of me. I didn't teach him to do these things. I thought I was like, Lord, I had to get on my knees. I said, God, did I raise a criminal? Let me.
As parents, I think we all been there.
Right.
Take us there.
And then you have a person that'll come to you because you gotta have people that know how to give you advice. And she said, don't give up on your son. Who does that? You know what I mean? How do you give up on your own child? I'm like, listen, I can't take this no more. My hair is turning gray. I'm taking medication to keep my mind stable, because it's a very thin line. It's like people say they love you. My son said he loved me, but the evidence of it, going out doing stuff crazy out in the streets, and so that made me think, like, if I was thinking like the average person, I'm like, my son can't possibly love me, This is somebody I born. Now you're talking about actual relationships, so you can take that or leave that. But with your son or your daughter or a family member, you can't take and leave them. You have to hold. So what's the difference? So it's all about your mindset. If that's your significant other, that is your family, right? So if you taking them in as your family, then you have to stick it out with them. If you really feel like, but everybody don't have that staying power. Regardless, they may love a person, but they don't have that staying power. They don't have people in their lives or influences in their life to teach them how to endure things, to teach them how to be patient, because everything is not going to go the way that you want it to go. There's some people that love you, and they really do love you, and they'll take care of you, and they'll do everything for you. But the moment you say no to them, they're like, oh no, I did everything for you. You can't tell me no. So all I'm saying is, it's like, at the end of the day, we can say that we love a person, but you definitely gonna end up having to prove it eventually. Be that rather you love a person or not. And I did stick it out with my son.
Amen.
I did pray for him. I did have other people praying for him, and he came through, and he's a model citizen now. But if I was just as diligent with my relationship, I might still be with some people or not.
So now that we're digging into this topic now,
Okay,
we done scratched the surface.
Go ahead.
So we have love. Now, when you have love, do we have a value of care that has to go with the love in order to make it more stronger and deeper? So where's the value of care when you say, I mean, hey, I can, I may care about this person, but only so much that, hey, I can just walk away from it. But if I care so much, I can't see myself somewhere else because I cared so deeply about the situation, about this person, about the everyday, events that we go through in the journeys,
I think it's a matter of investment, a matter of what you invest in something. A lot of times in relationship, most couples are together and they that live together, that are married. But out of that 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, that couple may spend in a week's time maybe 15, 20 minutes a day because of the jobs and everything that they do.
Right.
There was a time when you was in that courting stage that you did everything that you could to be with that person. You didn't want that person out of your moment. You did things. You was willing to go whatever that distance was. And I think that, you know, for most, we really don't know what love is. We have an expression of what we see, but I think it's a sense of something that Coyote said, the value of knowing your worth and knowing who you are. But to you going to learn how to love yourself, and I don't mean it in a selfish way, then you're not going to hurt that other person.
And you know, I think that truest form of love is that unconditional love.
Yes, that's
when you
deep.
have that unconditional, that is the deepest love you can get. Because it says no matter who you are, what we go through, or what situation, I am always going to be there for you.
And that's what most people have gotten away from. Unconditional.
Unconditional, yeah.
Because they can say they love you, but at the same time, that same person is willing to stab you in the back. But if it's unconditional, that person's got you no matter what.
Now here's the other side of it too. I believe that love needs to have discipline as well.
Amen.
Because with love without discipline, I mean, then that way, I mean, you see a lot of relationships where one feels taken advantage of, or, you know, that's why they feel like, okay, hey, I have to walk away from this because the discipline in it is not there, to where as though I have to regroup and get myself together in order to, you know, have this love. You know, we think of love, I think of the heart and how it's shaped. You know, you think of this, how the heart is shaped and everything, and it has the form what it takes to form that. It takes discipline to form that shape. And same with love. You know, if you don't have that love, discipline and respect, then it's out of shape.
And that's true. That is true, because
it's a mess.
Discipline. In the words, say, train up a child. You know, your parents say, you know, I do this not because I want to. I'm doing this because I love you.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of parents, if you think about children are already set their pathway. They go, and I want this and I want that. And most parents, they overcompensate. Well, I'm going to give my child this and I'm going to give my child that. You try to give them everything that they want. And as that child get older, you can't fulfill those needs anymore.
Right.
That's because you didn't teach them the discipline of saying no. And no, you can't have this. So as you saying, discipline is a part of love. And saying no, sometimes, you know, people don't like rejection. That was another topic I was going to deal with tonight. No one likes rejection, but saying no, it's not that person doesn't love you. It's not that you can't have that. It's just that you're not ready for that right now.
Right.
It's just like if your son say, Daddy, I want this car. You can afford to give a 14-year-old this car, but maturity, age-wise, he's just not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
So you don't give him that, but some people will, to satisfy their needs.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's, like I said, that's when it gets, you know, just sloppy in the love and taken advantage of after a while, because like you said, they, you know, you're holding back for them because they're not ready for it just yet. And you see that, you foresee that as a parent, you know, or someone that's overseeing or guiding them in the right direction and want them to grow up, you know, the right way. And like I said, how do they take to that no? You know, do they love you back enough to say, you know what, I see that person really loves and cares for me, that there's a reason behind this, you know, let me understand this. And that's
I think it also says that we learn by the things that we suffer. And I know that for me, sometimes even coming up, sometimes you expect certain things, and saying no sometimes didn't feel good. Being said no sometimes to me was a form of rejection, but sometimes I just wasn't ready, or it just wasn't my time yet. And then as you get older, you learn to say, you know what, you learn to value and you appreciate things, because if I could have everything I want, it wouldn't be a need to even work.
Exactly, right.
It wouldn't be a need to do if you could have everything that you want.
Right.
So, and just dealing with the topic, I said the night topic is so broad because you're dealing with so many perspectives of people that comes from families that they say they love, and turn around, and we got a high divorce rate, and just people are so sensitive now to just some of the things that are happening in the world today.
Right.
Well, it was a point in time that people would hold their head down when or had respect when someone lost their life. Now people make videos, they make fun. It's unsensitive that people have come to that point. So, so before we go on our break, Jay, talking to you, how long you been in a relationship you've been involved with?
Man, I've been in my relationship for 6 years now.
Amen.
So, yeah, and you know they say the 7 years, that's the itch right there. We can make it through that, then we're good to go. So, but yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's had its up and downs. It's been a journey, us learning each other, respecting each other, learning out different ways, and you know, kinks and you know what we like. And I'm more of the outgoing person. She's more the indoor, want to stay and chill. So you know, we get. I always say you find a way to meet in the middle when you really.
So what would be one of the things that you would say and that you would tell my guests? Because, you know, a lot of women say that there's no good men out here. You know, I'm not, you know, I mean.
I would say be patient. Be patient. You know, there's no need to rush into things. Because like they say, only fools rush in. And the right person will come along, you know. And like, it's no good, like I said, that person may not just been right for you. And learn how to let go, you know. Quickly, hey, this ain't working, and they say them red flags you look for and stuff like that. Okay, all right, like this, there's no need of me prolonging this. Let's end it. Hey, we could be friends or whatever, and let's just.
So this is something I want to ask you, because in the dating world, we have a lot of people that date. Why do you think people are not sincere and honest when they meet people in the dating arena? I'm saying I'm gonna ask you because I was somewhere just the other day, met just two outstanding beautiful young women, beautiful, and they both were upset about a situation because they feel that men are not open and honest with them about their status or their situation.
Well, I guess you know you want to put that your best image forward at the beginning of the dating game.
So you saying so why do people lie? So you gonna lie putting your best foot?
I'm not saying that.
Not
that's,
you.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying.
Speaking, just open-minded, like, hey, I'm guessing, hey, they want to put the best image that they can up first.
So they're gonna do what they have to
in order to.
Okay. So that's a perspective.
Me, right. And
I'm asking. That's good. At least they know. Because. I'm sitting here.
Just like, you go on that first date, you're going to find that best cologne you got. You're going to find this, the best of the best to put it. But do you wear that every day? Do you put your best?
So let me actually play the devil's advocate.
Okay.
I'm doing that, but I meet this one.
Right.
But I'm already still sort of in a relationship. Do I still, I still kind of try to put, I'm just being real.
You still in okay.
Because when they're asking why aren't men and women the same way.
Okay.
But mostly it's us. Why aren't they open and honest when they meet?
That's a totally different dynamic right there. If you still in a relationship, like to me, it's like, why open another door before you close the one before behind you first? And that's when things get messy. And not only that, I look at that too, because maybe you're not, you going out looking for something that you're not getting in the first relationship. But I think you should figure out what's going on with that first before you go searching elsewhere, because you will find that, yes. But then I think you'll end up putting yourself in the same predicament that you was in the last one, because you haven't figured out them issues yet. You're just dragging that same old dirty laundry to the next cleaners or to the next house instead of figuring out what was causing these issues. You know what I'm saying? So,
Coyote, well, what's your take on that, bro?
Well, I got a couple of different takes on it.
It's real because they ask those questions.
Well, one, women do the exact same thing. They're just good at hiding it. But when it comes to do with men, men are expected to lie. When we first came to this country, it wasn't even in our culture, monogamy. So it's like when you're dealing with a situation that wasn't even a part of us, right? It wasn't a part of our kings. It wasn't a part of Abraham. It wasn't a part of some of the most people that we respect. So being it wasn't a part of us, and somebody said, you know what, we can't take these people on slaves and they be doing what they used to do because they're gonna raise up too quick. So we got to teach them this way of life. So this natural man, that not all men, but the average man is attracted to more than one female. He can even love more than one female because he was designed that way,
Spread
to be
the
fruitful
seed.
and multiply.
Yeah, spread the
So
seed.
he's naturally created to be that way. So being that he's naturally created to be that way, when he comes to a place and they tell you it is wrong for you to love more than one woman. Okay, well, I'll lie then. That's how y'all want it? I'll lie and I'll make it a practice of lying. I had a young man to come to me and he said he couldn't control himself, right? He said, man, I just like women. Something is wrong with me. Do you know when I told this man when I told this boy, I said, listen, you're a polygamist by nature. I said, the only problem is when you sleep with this woman universally, she's your wife. And when you sleep with that next one, universally, she's your wife. The lion don't have to go to the white man or any other man to ask who his wives are. Once he actually become a part of them, that's what they are. So when he learned that, he said, you mean I'm responsible for them? I said, yeah. He said, oh man, you just gave me control.
Make you slow down. Yeah.
He said, see, the lie will not give you control. The lie, men just develop, oh, that's what you want to hear. Okay, I'll give you this. Now, when a man gets older or maybe he's not doing as much, like say, for example, he's going to his job, he's coming back home, he's not trying to take over the world, he's no prophet, he's not trying to run all these businesses and stuff like that. Maybe he only need one help me. And if he's actually laying on his couch playing PlayStation, maybe he don't need no help me because she can't help you do nothing. You know, the only reason why they had more than one wife is because they had they just needed more helpme's, and the only reason why that you need to be able to handle that one right, because you still gotta handle that one right. Okay. And the only reason why you shouldn't have none right is because you don't have no goals to do anything. But the lie comes from the expectation of the lie. Like you want the lie, so I'm gonna give you the lie. Now you will find the lie start to disappear when people feel a certain way about themselves. They'll tell you from the gate one. They'll tell you from the door one. When they have a certain amount of finances, they'll tell you. They'll say, hey, this is what it is. You'll come into their situation. The woman might even say, hey, I would like you to be a part of our family. So it's a difference when you get in there. But when you on the bottom level, you know, you still hiding and ducking and dodging from yourself and everybody else. So when the women ask them, why won't they tell me the truth? It's easy for you to know the truth. See, the man he ain't no master liar, you know, so that means that he's gonna fail at the holidays. He's not gonna be with you. He's gonna, like, it's all the signs.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
see
like,
the signs.
There's it's no way, just like a woman. Like, women are better at hiding it, but that's only because of the fact that how you feel about yourself. Like, I know when a woman doing something. Why? Because I'm leaving space for her to do something. You know, it's like this stuff is nature.
Right.
You know, it's nothing more than nature. You'll know the reason why a girl will look at you and judge you by somebody else she has actually been with. She's carrying that luggage to the next relationship, and then she looking at you like she's that person, and you asking yourself, why is she looking? But actually she helping you out because she letting you know she still got baggage and luggage, and you need to leave her alone, you know, or leave him alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or a guy that's jealous hearted and looking at you like we talked about on my show, when you go to answer something like that, but she try to answer, he be like, oh, she good. That guy is dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So
control it,
because he has no type of like balance. Most of the time, that's an insecurity in themselves. Anybody that got to do extra to protect their person, like if I felt that my wife was in danger, I'll be protective, but that's when I don't say nothing. Because I already know what the next steps is. As long as I'm talking, you're still breathing, you know. But if I ever got real quiet and I'm not saying anything, that's terrible. because I'm already thinking about going to jail. I'm already thinking about dying. And I'm thinking about this type of stuff. So it's like, I'm just saying this is what you got to deal with when you think about these people. Y'all said something about investment and to these relationships, how these people come, because people know that people are dying in these relationships. That's why I said people don't know the word of love. Love is service and maintenance. You can love somebody to death. In other words, you can actually maintenance them the wrong way. If you get the wrong mechanic to come into your car and try to fix that car, and now I had the wrong mechanic. Yeah. He left the daggone a wrench on my brakes, and that was actually what's holding my brakes together. So I'm driving. I think I got me a mechanic, but just got him a little cheaper. So
you saying you brought your foreign car to a domestic?
I got the wrong mechanic, right? Thinking I was doing something. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes we used to say, oh yeah, we need to stay and ride these relationships. Yeah. You stay and ride in a relationship that is valuable, right? And if you're valuable, you are equally yoked. And sometimes you have to evolve a person, because the job of a man, God put man there to maintain and cultivate his woman. Come on now. It has to be, first of all, a woman can accept the fact that you're supposed to cultivate and maintain her, right? And once she takes you as that person, I don't accept it no other way. Soon as you know, I say, it's the cardboard box or the mansion. You rolling with me in the cardboard box or the mansion. You submit in the cardboard box or the mansion. The way she feels, as long as I'm submitting to God. So that's the game, you know. It's no other way. But all this fairy talk, love and stuff, and then you look on news and they done killed each other and stuff. Somebody should have left a long time ago.
But that's the key. As you were saying, you know, when you hear, it's just so much toxic relationships out here now. I mean, and then you see somebody that's been together for 20 years, 30 years, you'd invest in and you ready to walk away. The relationship itself been over. Yeah, you stayed with them based on the kids, or you based on
it's cheaper to keep.
Right. Yep. Or the finances, and you sleeping in separate rooms, but the relationship been over.
And you know that was never a part of our culture, and African culture. They already had their diary, so they wasn't staying with you for money, because if something happened to that relationship, they was already set.
And you know, the young lady I had on my show last week, we're still here. Their value of family, because she's from Africa. They live together, they work together.
That's right.
Here, you know, you tell somebody, hey, I'm sorry, you gotta get your own. I'm just saying. Yeah. And this family, this your, you know. Yeah. Or you can stay for a minute, but they work. Space. Yeah. They work together. Yeah. And what has really got to me, you think about the Hispanics and the Indians. When I say to you, they come over here and it's a job. They'll work a job. They own a job, and this person don't know the skill. They'll teach that person how to know the skill that don't have it, train them. Yeah. They'll stay in a house together. It's a 3-bedroom, and they got 8 people in that house. Yeah. And guess what? They pay that house off and give it to the next person. And therefore, you know, they didn't left a legacy for that, and they don't let none of us in.
Sounds like we're talking about unity.
Right. That's something that we don't learn to do. Yep. It's still dealing with love and working together. But what we're going to do,
we're going to learn that here.
We
actually running into the other show.
Okay. All right.
But this was, we're going to do a part 2.
Didn't get a chance for my callers to call in. So, you know, hopefully next week we'll get a chance for y'all to call in. And thank you for watching the David Robinson Show. Real talk, real people, real conversations. Jake, thank you for coming.
You're watching the David Robinson Show
on the CoyoteMan Show Network.
Real talk, real people, real conversation.